Hello and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Lady E. In today's video, I'll be painting a roll cake. I'm starting this video a little differently than how I normally begin. This is the sketch I created a few days ago. I have it washi taped down to carbon transfer paper over the canvas on all four sides. I'll be transferring the sketch to the canvas using this thin dotting tool as a stylus. I'll be doing a quick sketch over what I have using very gentle pressure. I almost didn't get a chance to record this video. I've been having a lot of health issues with a few autoimmune diseases I have. If you've ever seen the anime Cells at Work, my white cells are basically attacking my joints because they think they're the enemy. So it's been very painful and very difficult. Hopefully, this video turns out well. I recorded the whole video earlier and then realized that the microphone had been off the whole time, so I'm doing this voiceover style. I'm now tracing what's on my sketch. The couple of things that I will not be tracing are the seeds for the strawberry and also the Happy Valentine's script, because I'm going to freehand those. Now, one of the reasons I chose a roll cake was because it's a little different. For Valentine's Day, you normally think about chocolate, hearts, flowers, teddy bears, things of that nature. I want to do a really pretty dessert that still says Valentine's while not being completely overt. I'm now going to check to make sure that everything has transferred over. Now I'm going to remove the sketch and transfer paper and get started with the actual painting. I'm trying to be gentle so I don't rip anything. Even though I did the best I could using gentle pressure, it still transferred some excess carbon onto the canvas, so it will take some additional coverage in those areas of the paint. I'm thinking of changing what transfer method I use to make it a little less messy. I'm not sure if I just want to do the sketch directly on the canvas or not. What do you think would be a good idea? Referring back to my sketch, you can see that I've written down the colors that I plan on using and where. I do this so that I can gather all the markers so that I have a solid plan going into the painting. I'll be starting with color C02 for the cream. As I'm using this marker, I'm noticing that there's some issues with the flow of the paint. At the time, I thought that it was dry. Now, I realize there was just some residue on the brush tip, and it was preventing a lot of the paint from coming through. At this point, I did a quick change up to color 10, which did cause some small changes to my original plans for the painting, specifically the wax seals I had originally chosen. As a result, I'll be showing you the process of how I select wax seals near the end of the video. This area is the cream on the inside of the roll cake, and where I've decided that the wax seals were going to go. I've seen roll cakes that have fruit in the center, and so I thought, well, that's going to be the best placement for wax seals. They're kind of like the fruit or the treat inside of the cream. Now, I've never tried a roll cake before, at least not to my memory, but I've seen them in a lot of videos and pictures, and it's something that I definitely want to try. They look absolutely delicious. I'm doing a little bit more cleanup, going over the spots that have excess carbon transfer to camouflage or cover it up more. I'll come back to this and do it again. So now I'm moving on to the main part of the cake, and I'm using color 20. This color, to me, was the closest representation of what a strawberry cake looks like, at least from the reference images that I've seen. The color that I chose for the outside of the cake, or the crust of the cake, is color C21. It's a bit of a deeper pink color that I think is how it would look if it had been browned in the oven. Is this making you want cake like it is me? By the way, if you're curious, this is the pencil I use for my sketches. It's a Tombow Mono 100 NF. It's a very nice, light lead that's easy to erase and glides well on paper. It makes the sketches come out nice and clean looking, especially when I pair it with the Sumo Grip clickable eraser. I got both of those from jetpens.com. I'm actually considering using them directly on the canvas in lieu of using the transfer paper. I first have to do a quick test to see how well it erases off the canvas. So now I'm moving on to that color I mentioned before, C21, for the outside of the roll. If you notice that my lines aren't perfectly straight, it's because my hands are shaking a little bit. I'm actually between medications right now, so I'm in quite a bit of pain, but I'm powering through it. Hopefully, in the near future, you'll see my hand be a lot more steady as I'm getting into new medication for my condition. Now I'm going over those spots that are a little bit streaky or have some additional carbon transfer that doesn't need to be showing. I'm happy to say that I now have 13 subscribers. So thank you all so much for subscribing. I truly appreciate you. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, I would be happy to have you. It makes my day whenever I see that number jump up. Moving on to the whipped cream using color 00. Now, unfortunately, I probably should have gone with an even lighter touch for this part of the transfer because a lot of that carbon is being pulled out by the white acrylic paint and it's turning it a little bit of a light blue. So I will have to go over this again to get the proper white color. I'm trying to get rid of some of that blue off the marker with a tissue so that I can continue adding white. The next color that we're using is 28, which is a really pigmented red. I absolutely love this color red. First, I want to do a quick little test because the seeds are going to be color 10. So I want to see if it will show up on top of the red or if I have to do the seeds first and then do the red around them. But it looks like it's going to be just fine. I'm trying to do some outlining with the Sakura Pigma Micron N10. And I've come across this issue before where even though the canvas feels smooth with other applications, using fine tip pens, it feels very bumpy. I'm giving it my best shot here, but I'm going to be moving to color 00 and Ardex markers. It's not as thin of a line as I would like, but it's what I have. If you have any suggestions as to a different acrylic marker type that would maybe have a thinner tip than the Artex brush tips that I can use for this purpose, I would really appreciate that. The next step here is to do the strawberry seeds using color 10 again. I'm not trying to be like super perfect because strawberries aren't, but I'm just trying to make sure that there's plenty of seed coverage, just like you would see in a natural strawberry. I'm going to go back afterward with a Sakura Pigma Micron and outline them. This is making me want some strawberries. I think I have some strawberries in the fridge. I might just grab some of those after this. I'm rather hungry now. You know, I once read somewhere that you can serve strawberries using a technique called maceration, which I absolutely love. First, you cut up your strawberries and place them in a bowl. Add a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of sugar. Then place it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour until the natural juices of the strawberry start coming out. And then you can serve it. When you eat it, it's absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend. I've chosen two greens here for the background, 55 and 57. Normally, when I do a background, I choose a solid color, and I want to do something a little different this time. The stripes that I'm doing may not be exactly the same width, but they're all going to be fairly straight because I'm using my ruler to make sure of that. This here is the color wheel that I use when choosing background colors. I take a look at the main color of the subject of the painting and then find the complementary color that goes along with it. Then I look at my shade options in that color to pick what looks good. By the way, if you notice while I'm coloring the background that some of the marker gets on my unprotected work surface, don't worry too much. It comes off easily with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. One of the perks of acrylic markers. It's time to write the Happy Valentine's Day script. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the canvas a little bit so I can get the angle that I want. And I'm going to freehand it and do my best to write in pretty cursive. It's wax seal time. Here are the wax seals that I originally chose. As you can see, two of them are so crisp a white they no longer go with the new cream color. So I'm going to have to choose two other seals to replace them. I'm confirming the layout of the seals to ensure they're alternating like I wanted them to be. This clear organizer is how I keep all of my wax seals. I have a different color in each compartment. I'm just pulling out the ones with white backgrounds and immediately found this one that I made with some matte wax that has almost a perfect off-white color. I'm going to pick another one that has a clear background for that empty space. So I'm going to pull out that drawer and see what I have that fits. Now I'm going to put everything back away, and then I'm going to grab my hot glue gun and be back to get that glued together. I zoomed in a little bit closer so you can see details on the wax seals better. Now I'm gluing them down. If you notice, this glue gun's a little bit different than what I was using before. It's because I switched glue guns. Originally, I was using this one for the clear wax sticks, but I noticed that they respond better to the low temperature corded one that I have, and so I switched. Now I'm checking that everything is glued down properly. After I get rid of all these little strings, I'll re-glue the seals that need it. These strings are the closest approximation to spider webs and are just as annoying. That's one of the downsides to using a glue gun. I'm going to clean these up a little bit more and then finish with a signature. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today and that you liked this painting. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day and happy Valentine's once again.